And this is my new Renault Master. It's from 2007. It has 200,000 kilometers and it's bright red. Let's see what we can do with it. And first order of the day, we'll start with the windows. So there we go, first window in. Next we're gonna go on the other side and do the second window. Alright, and that's done. Yeah. Also, don't forget to give it a little swipe on the inside because there's some particles from the cut and those rust very quickly. Alright, so now that the windows are in place, I'll start on the inside. I'm gonna take that out. Well, that's much brighter now. Alright, the floor is in. We have at the very bottom the strips of foam and then 2 centimeters of insulation, foam insulation. Then we have the, let's call it bubble wrap, and then we have the 1 centimeter plywood, and that will be the floor of the van. And we're back now. The floor is finished and we're getting onto the electrical. The solar panels are going to end up about here. The cables will arrive from the roof and I'll get them directly to the floor where I'll put my battery. We're on the roof of the van. We're putting the air extraction in, which will be right about here. This is just above the what will be the kitchen area. I always like double, triple measure everything. And that's 95 mil. All right, that's good. The problem is I can't actually turn. So there's gonna have to be plan B. Plan B is from the inside, but alright, so it doesn't work much better from the inside. Oops, that was my only blade. Alright, and we're on to plan C. My blade broke, so I'm gonna do it by hand. This is the inside of the ventilation, the extraction. Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect. That was pretty tough. I'm tired. And we're back on the roof, and we are passing the cables through the roof for the solar panels using those little metal fingers. We're all done. The cables are through. Now just a little bit of cleanup and we're good. Shall we insulate the van today? Getting onto the walls. So this is the wool that I have. So this is mineral, and I think the other one that I have is glass wool. Alright, so I've finished most of the sides here, as you can see, with mineral wool, and I will be covering that later on with a multi-layer, reflecting multi-layer, which will actually start at the bottom and go in one piece all around. Alright, as you can see, the multi-layer is on at the back of the van. I have put the side panels that came with the van when I bought it. It's a process, it takes some time, but I'm happy to do it, and it's taking shape slowly, so yeah, it's quite good. And we're moving on to the side windows, and before putting the insulation in, I will put a frame, a wooden frame, to go around the window, not to reinforce it, but to create a nice finish for the inside. And let's test this. See how it fits. That's pretty good. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that is a perfect cut. Pretty happy right now. That's pretty cool. It took me a while to do all this. Now I can take it apart and put the insulation in. I've glued the wooden frame to the side of the van, and it's now drying, and I'll be able to put the insulation in all around, and then put the multi-layer, and then I'll put the side panel. And finally, we're all done with the insulation on that side and the ceiling. Now let's move on to the ceiling. This is my line to get the center right. And we're getting close to finishing on the ceiling, and as you can see, those little cables coming outside are going to be for the lights. They're the LEDs from Ikea that I'll try to hook up, and they're pretty flat, and you just screw them onto the ceiling. And what are we on to today? Basically the insulation is almost finished except on the doors. I decided to add some pallet wood because it's much easier to do the finish, and I just screwed on the pallet wood directly onto the wall, and cut out the opening for the window, and I will do the same on this side as well. It doesn't need actually to go that low, it just needs to go till the height of the bed. And we also have the wires coming out of the wood, so I can get a switch here for the lights. And yeah, otherwise that's it. A nice finish. Hey guys, I'm in the process of building the bed frame. What I'm trying to do is figure out one spot on that side and find out the exact same spot on the other side to make sure the bed is in the middle. The car isn't leveled on the ground isn't leveled, and the van isn't square at all. So it's like building something in a boat, you know, it's pretty tricky. This is the bar that will be the main structural part for the bed. It actually comes from my student bed, and this was the bar that was in the middle. It's adjustable, so I just put it to the right size. So there's some wood all around, so I can screw in directly the boards that will come on top directly in there. And on the inside of the back, I have 2 pieces of wood and 1 piece of metal on the inside that prevents it from bending. So that's solid as well. So this is the top part of the bed, the top half, and there's going to be a board sliding on top here and making a full-size bed. And when it's like this will be a couch. So we'll see how it goes. I have it like mostly I have something in my mind about what I want the van to look like, but I kind of make it up as I go. I face some problems and I basically try to find solutions to whatever I have to make, and sometimes there's an easy way and sometimes there's a hard way, and most often I go for the easy way, because I mean I'm not a carpenter, and I try to make things as solid as I can in the easiest way that I can as well. This isn't some Japanese way of attaching wood. I put screws everywhere. So there is screw, there is glue, there is everything I can find. So yeah, it's not perfect. It's not always beautiful, but it is what it is, and it's holding. So that's the main part. When you're building a van, just don't be surprised. Everything, like each piece of wood, has to be made individually. You use your eye more than you use your logic and meter. So you just, if it looks good, then it is good. The structure for the kitchen cabinet is done, and we will have a drawer on each side, a big drawer here, and here we'll have some doors. I hope everything works. It should be alright. I've added this little bit in the middle, just so everything stays into place when they're sliding in and out, and those as well. I've moved on to the kitchen cabinet, which I've made. I haven't really filmed that because it's quite straightforward. You know, it's a couple of boards together. I'm gonna show you, but like, there's no handles yet, so I have to like grab on the side to pull them out. So yeah, they're made out of what is it, like Ikea kind of material, like you know, like wood and glue. I don't know the name in English. This one, which is like massive. Oh, come on. Yeah, there you go. It's nice. It's bulky. It's heavy. It's gonna be here for the next 1,000 years. Nice sound as well. I've made some boxes to go underneath the seating area. Those are the boxes that will support the weight of the bed. When you're making boxes and they're exactly the right size, they only go one way. They get in and they never get out. Yeah, I always forget to get those 1 or 2 mils, so they can actually slide. And I did the mistake on the first box and I had to take everything apart, and I almost didn't do it on the second one. Everywhere there's like 2 mil except on the width, and yep, still doesn't fit. So I need to take it apart again and get those 2 mils out. And today the van is in a bit of a mess, as you can see, full of little offcuts of wood. And the thing is, I'm trying to fit a box here so I can finally put some insulation into this so-called oven that is just above the driving seats. Yeah, when the sun reflects here, is just horrible. It's just horrible. The whole van just becomes a sauna. So the goal is to put as much insulation and some reflecting insulation to be able to reflect some of that heat outside, and make a box so I can put some stuff in there. And yeah, that's it. What I've done here, it's not finished everywhere. I still have to work it out on this side, but it was a bit of a mess here, and I took a piece of wood that I put underneath and stuck some of this blanket from Ikea into it. So this is jammed underneath using one of these, and on the other side it's jammed just underneath the piece of wood. So the piece of wood comes here and boom, hold it on the ceiling, which makes it a pretty nice finish. So I'm going to try to do a lot of the van like that, the non-accessible parts, like where I can't really put pieces of wood. So I try to do like, maybe it was double-sided tape. For now it has worked pretty well. I will start painting. I'll start with the walls. So everything will be white for now. And I will put some laser so it's not too thick and we can still see the wood through it. Then I'll move on to some white paint, and I'll do the frames here, the frames here, and the side of the boxes as well. So I'm on to the bed now. I have screwed those boards to this part over here. The goal is to put that metal bar and nail it so it stays on perfectly and holds the boards together, and it's going to be easier for the boards to slide in and out. There we go. So the box becomes the support. And slides all the way until the angles get into one another and everything becomes flat. And does it slide back in? That is the question. Shall we try? And pushing, and it should lift. Perfect. And now I need handles. Awesome. It was kind of hard getting grip on the bed when I pulled it out to test it. So what I'm going to do is put some handles, and for that I'll be drilling some holes, and I'll be using some good old rope. So I have 2 nice handles that I can use to pull the bed, and hopefully it works. How cool is that? Yep, adopted. And there we go, the doors are fully insulated. This is wool, this is foam board, this is wool, everything is jammed on the side as well, as far as I can. So yeah, good enough. And now I can put some wood on it. Alright, and then I'll drill the other side. Also might want to check from time to time that I'm not going through the door. Check what I'm going to do now. And we're good. And the doors are done. Looking good. And I'm doing a bit of the finishing, so it looks good on the back of the van. Putting some carpet on. And it's pretty easy, so I'm not going to show it in detail, but I'm using double-sided tape and cut the piece to size and just tape it and just jam everything that I can in between the wood and the metal, and that's about it. Alright, so I went and bought some colors for the doors and basically all the openings. So the doors here, the window frame over there, and the door over here will be blue. I'll give it a go, see how it looks. It's the first layer anyway. If it looks good, I'll leave it like that. If it doesn't, I can always paint another color over it. But yeah, it's taking shape a little bit. The van is starting to look pretty good. I'm happy about it. I've always been pretty bad at putting paint only on the top of the brush, and I always end up putting paint everywhere up to my hand, which isn't the best, so I'll try to stay clean here. Alright, let's go. Ooh, that is very blue. Alright, I've done like 2 boards with blue, and it's very blue. It would probably be a good idea to put a bit of white in there. I'm gonna try to do a bit of a color mix. See if I can get those blues a little lighter. So I'll put a little bit of white in an old paint box, and I'll add some blue. See how it looks like. What do you think? I think I'm gonna put a little bit of white in it. Not like this. This is too light. This might be a little too light as well, but that's too dark. That's too dark for me. All right, let's mix some white. This is my blue. This is my white. You ready? Feeling like Tom Cruise in Cocktail?
Well, then why don't we start with the turquoise blue?
Let's check it out. Well, it is still blue. That's for sure. It is a little better. I think I can work with that. Let's paint. And we're done with the doors. Everything has been sanded down, so the color isn't too bright anymore, which is good. And it looks a little more rustic. Nice. So same on the other side. Also, I've put those in, so I need to paint those white as well. Tack. There we go. I need one of these here as well, and oh, here I've added some bars with a little bit of an angle here, so you can see the cut. That's so I can have a nice grab, and I can now slide those in and out easily. Same, this needs to be painted white. Those holes are for my electrical stuff, so that's gonna be like the charge controller, USB charging, 12-volt charging, and this will go right here. So there will be a lock here that will prevent the bed from moving anywhere while I'm driving. It shouldn't anyway, but if I brake really hard, it might just fly out. I just need to drill a hole now. let's do it. So I just put those in, drilled some holes, put a little bit of paint so it doesn't show too much, and so I'm not gonna close it right now because obviously the paint is wet, but yeah, I mean it does fit, so all good. Next. Obviously it would have been easier to do it before I put the ceiling on, but I thought I was going to put some linen oil and just be done with it. And when I put the linen oil, the ceiling turned yellow, so I decided to paint it. So here we go. It's gonna be brown, blue and white. And moving on to the door, the side door, which I've been neglecting for the past few weeks. And I wanted to do something else than just insulating, so I've been doing some painting. Today I've done the frame, yesterday afternoon, which actually takes a fair bit of time, and I painted it before I put it in, which is a lot easier. And yesterday I've done as well some insulating here, putting some wool, fitting in some wool inside these, closing those, insulation, and then cladding everywhere until the bottom. And then we'll paint it white. Yep, that's it. Let's do it. And we're 3 boards in. I put this one first because I want it to be aligned with the window. And so far so good, it works well. See, there's a fair bit of space here. The tight space is here. But I will have enough as well, so I should be fine. Putting some lazure on the side door. Pretty much takes the yellow out of the wood. And I'll be sanding this and changing the color to gray instead of brown, because I'm gonna do those gray, and you can't really have like 10 colors in the same like tiny space. What'd you like better, brown or gray? Yeah, I like gray better. Not the same light, but it worked. Shaved my beard as well. Today I moved on to the floor, so that's how it looks right now. It's actually not too bad, but I will put this floor in. Start over here, strip the paper and press it in. Happy this morning. It's freezing cold, but work gets done. And now I can finally put the LEDs on. You know, those Ikea thingy that I installed the cables for, and now I just have to plug them, screw them and connect them to the battery, and it should work. Twists. Okay, I think I got it. And the van is almost done, and most of the things are in. As you can see, the lights, everything is painted. Those are in as well. I just need to put the LEDs that I haven't received yet. I've decided to reinforce the bed, so when the bed is open, it was a little soft, so I didn't want it to break. So that's all. I'm also working on reinforcing the inside, just to make sure everything is nice and strong. So I'm adding this vertical here and over here as well. I have space for the bicycle and then space for my storage, which is good. And this is my battery mess. I'm still working out the cables. Finally received my LEDs, and they will go right here and on the other side. So I've gotten some monochrome LEDs, 60 LED per meters. Alright. So I've just cut the LEDs to size, and I'm going to glue them onto the wood. Alright, over here and around. Boom. Awesome. And I can dim the lights as well. 50%, 25%, or 100%. I can make them blink and all, but you know, I'm never gonna use that. What I have here for the back is I want to put some light in here, so when it's dark I can access my stuff. Now a little bit of tape. We have the connection to the battery cable, and we have the connection to the switch and the connection to the LED. Now we just have to set it up. Okay, so I've finished hooking up the LEDs in the back of the car. They are hooked up as well to the main line, and they're connected together with the LEDs on the ceiling. That's the switch, and the LEDs here. Basically just turning it on, and then I can adjust I think the brightness, it's the one, until it turns off or not. Now I need to put all those cables nice and tight, because like everything here is a bit of a mess, so I'll be hooking them up with those little things. This on the floor is going to be the deck on top of the van, on the roof, and this is old pallet wood. That's what I've used on the inside, so I will burn it as the Japanese do, and it's called Shou Sugi Ban. It's basically like lightly burn the wood on top, on the surface, and it just prevents it from molding or it getting damaged with the weather. So that's what I will try to do, and then I'll put it on the roof of the van. Alright, let's do it. The boards are ready. I've waited about a week, 2 weeks actually, a little more, so it rained on it, to make sure everything is clean and doesn't get any black anywhere. And I'm pretty happy with the finish. And now is the time to put them on, and they'll go on there. So that's going to be time for the first solar panel. I've connected both of the solar panels together and connected those to the cables running down to my van. So the plan is here, using these, I'll put a bolt, a spacer, and put it through, put a bit of old tubes, and to prevent anything from moving with vibrations. And the roof is done. Hey, look at that. Nice deck. So the van is about 10 years old, and the plastics are becoming gray. So what I'm doing is I'm using some product for bringing the plastic back as they were. Afterwards I'll be able to put some polish on the car and make the red come back as well. As you can see the difference here and here. I've been going at it for a couple hours now, and I'm polishing the car. It's shiny. It's nice and shiny now, and see the red is coming back nicely. If you compare, like this is done, and this isn't done. So you can see the difference over here, over here, over here, over here. Done, not done, done, not done, done, not done. Yep. I mean, it's a final touch, so I'm quite happy because, you know, it all means that I'm getting towards the end and that my job is nearly done for the van, so quite happy here. I finished putting the polish on, and the car is kind of shiny, eh? Nice and red. That was a long video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope it was useful. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Once again, I hope it was useful, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you soon on Emerging Alternative. See you guys. Bye.